Government to construct another unit of Dhaka Medical College Hospital for treatment to additional 5,000 patients, announces Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. President Mohammad Abdul Hamid on the way to Switzerland to attend World Investment Forum. Demanding dialogue shortly before election schedule announcement, unreasonable and unnecessary, comments Obadul Qadir. Germany to stop weapons export to Saudi Arabia over Khashoggi murder incident. Angela Merkel urges EU to follow suit. And BTV relieved over one of its cricketers taking responsibility at critical time. Assalamu alaikum. This is News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Center. I'm Anik Cambrine and joining me tonight is...
I'm Imtiaz Ahmed Siddiqui. Welcome you once again. You just heard the headlines. Moving on to the details of those and other stories. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina categorically said the polls must be held in Bangladesh on time, brushing aside confusions about the next general elections. The Election Commission is taking preparation for the next polls and it will be held as per the Commission's schedule, she told a crowded press conference at Ganabhavan this afternoon. The Premier said certain quarter was deliberately creating the confusion so the democratic continuity was disrupted in the country. The press conference was arranged to brief the media about the Prime Minister's just concluded Saudi Arabia visit. Sheikh Hasina said the Election Commission is independent and they are taking preparation for the next polls independently and the government has no role in this regard. Her government wants free and fair elections be staged in Bangladesh and that elections will be held inshallah, she said. The Premier said her government is advancing the country socio-economically by facing everything. Sheikh Hasina said she also reviewed the poll time practices of parliamentary democracies like Australia, New Zealand, Britain and India and found that they don't change the cabinet during poll time and their leaders said cabinet reconstitution during poll time was needless. Sheikh Hasina said before the 2014 election her government wanted to form the polls time government comprising all parties while Begum Khaleda Zia was the opposition leader. Welcoming the formation of a new political alliance, Jatiyo Oikyo Front, the Prime Minister said, Awami League is not at all worried about it. About the new alliance, Jatiyo Oikyo Front, she said, the alliance has been formed with the anti-liberation forces and those who were involved in the August 21 grenade attack, money laundering and looting the money of orphan. Responding to a question, she said Kamal Hussein has joined hands with those who tried to kill her. The Prime Minister said there is political freedom, freedom of expression and freedom of journalism in the country. Even the judiciary is independent. In Bangladesh, people including journalists are now enjoying freedom, she added. Newly elected mayor of Borishal City Corporation and its councillors took oath at a function at Prime Minister's office this morning. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina administered the oath of Borishal Mayor Sarniabad Sadiq Abdullah, while the councillors took oath from Minister for LGRD and Cooperatives Kondakar Musharraf Hussain. Mayor of Borishal City Corporation and 40 councillors were elected in the city polls held on July 30, 2018. In her speech after administering the oath, the Prime Minister urged the newly elected mayor and councillors to serve the voters with dedication to fulfill their expectations. The Prime Minister thanked the voters of Borishal City Corporation for casting their votes in favour of the boat, election symbol of Awami League. She also urged them to ensure victory of boat in the coming general elections. Pointing out her struggle for country's development over the last 10 years, the Prime Minister said the elected representatives should work not to make their own fortune, but to change the lots of the people. Senior Secretary of the Local Government Division, Jafar Ahmed Khan, conducted the oath-taking ceremony. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said the government has undertaken a plan to construct another unit of Dhaka Medical College Hospital, DMCH, to provide treatment to additional 5,000 patients. The government will construct another unit of the DMCH if voted to power in next parliament elections, inshallah, she said. The Prime Minister said this while distributing ambulances and other transports to government hospitals and educational institutions at her office today. The Premier handed over the keys of 33 ambulances, 10 water ambulances and 98 jeeps to different Upazila health complexes. She also distributed the keys of 200 motorcycles for giving those to field-level statisticians of the health department. In her speech, the Prime Minister said her government is striving to reach healthcare services at the doorsteps of the people as the number of beds were increased in the existing hospitals, with giving support to construct private and specialized hospitals. Sheikh Hasina said the government would construct multi-storied buildings at Upazila levels for government officials. The Public Works Department has already been asked to prepare a plan in this regard, she said. The Premier asked the concerned officials for proper maintenance of the ambulance, considering those as state property. Health Minister Mohammad Naseem also spoke on the occasion, while State Minister for Health Zahid Malik was present. Secretary of the Health Services Division Mohammad Sirajul Islam Khan conducted the function. Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh Harsh Vardhan Shringla today made a courtesy call on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at her office. Press Secretary to the Prime Minister Ihsanul Karim said they discussed various matters relating to mutual interests. Munawar Rahman and Secretary to the Prime Minister's office Sajjadul Hassan were present.
President Mohammad Abdul Hamid is now on his way to Switzerland for attending 2 international conferences on investment and security in the Palace Days nations of Geneva. A regular flight of Emirates Airlines carrying the President left Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport for Geneva last night. The President made a 10-hour stopover at Dubai International Airport. He is likely to reach Geneva at around 8 p.m. local time. More than 5,000 participants from 160 countries will meet in Geneva to thrash out a major new investment for development initiative in the World Investment Forum. President Abdul Hamid is scheduled to return home in October 27. Two bills were passed in the Parliament today. The bills are Children Amendment Bill 2018 and Housing and Building Research Institute Bill 2018. Social Welfare Minister Rashid Khan Menon and Housing and Public Works Minister Engineer Musharraf Hussain moved the bills, which were passed unanimously. Earlier, the sitting of the House resumed this afternoon with Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry in the chair. Meanwhile, in the question-answer session, Commerce Minister Tufal Ahmed told the Parliament that Bangladesh earned $41 billion from exports during the fiscal 2017-18. In reply to a question, the minister said that they have exported 744 products in 202 countries during the last corresponding year, while only 25 projects were exported in 68 countries in 1972-73 fiscal. Responding to a question, Expatriate Welfare and Overseas Employment Minister Nurul Islam BSc told the House that the government has a plan to build a technical training centre in all upazilas of the country to make skilled manpower. In reply to another question, the minister informed Jatiyo Shangshud that a total of 5,19,863 people were given training from 2014 to September of the current year. He further said that a total of 1,87,223 workers went to Saudi Arabia from January to September of the current year, while 1,40,080 workers went to Malaysia through G2G process. In response to a question, Disaster Management and Relief Minister Mufassal Sain Chaudhry Maya said 220 more multi-purpose cyclone shelter centres are under construction at coastal and cyclone-prone areas. He said that they have constructed 100 multi-purpose cyclone shelter centres at coastal and cyclone-prone areas in the first phase. Deputy Speaker Fazli Rabbi Mia also presided over the Sanksad session. The sitting of the House will resume in the afternoon tomorrow. Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Abdul Qadir has said demand for holding dialogue before the announcement of schedule for national election is irrational, unrealistic and unnecessary. He was speaking at a program organised by Road and Highways Division in observance of the National Road Safety Day at Krishibid Institution in Dhaka today. Secretary of Road Transport and Bridges Minister Mohammad Nazrul Islam presided over the program. Among others, Shipping Minister Shahjahan Khan, Civil Aviation and Tourism Minister A.K.M. Shahjahan Kamal, State Minister for LGRD Mohammad Mashur Rahman Ranga, Chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on the Road Transport and Bridges Ministry Mohammad Ikabur Hussain, and Chairman of Nirapod Shorukchai, actor Ilyas Kancho also spoke, reiterating that next national election would be held on time following the country's constitution. Abdul Qadir said no such situation has been created, that dialogue will have to be held.
Health and Family Welfare Minister Mohammad Naseem has blamed the BNP Jamaat clique with intriguing to foil the next parliamentary election, asserting that no evil force would be able to impede prevailing peaceful situation in the country. He was speaking at a discussion after inaugurating Intensive Care Unit ICU, High Dependency Unit HDU and Operation Theatre of the 250-bed TB hospital at Chamoli in Dhaka today. Deputy Director of the hospital, Dr. Abu Raihan, presided over the function. Mohammad Naseem said, like 2014, BNP Jamaat again are trying to create unrest across the country ahead of the upcoming general election. The Health Minister described Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina as a far-sighted leader, saying the country is progressing fast under her able leadership. Reiterating that next national election would be held on time following the country's constitution, Commerce Minister Tufail Ahmed has expressed optimism that all political parties would participate in the next election. The minister said this while talking to journalists after a meeting with US Ambassador Marsha Bernicat at his Secretariat office today. Tufail Ahmed said political stability is a must to continue country's development and progress. But BNP, in the name of resisting national election in 2014, killed officials, police and mass people through vandalism and arson attacks. Marsha Bernicat told journalists that United States expects a stable Bangladesh. She also hoped all political parties would also be sincere to uphold the democracy of Bangladesh. A meeting of the Parliamentary Standing Committee for Information Ministry was held at the Parliament Bhavan today with its chairman A.K.M. Rahmatullah in the chair. Committee members, Information Minister Hasanul Haq Inu, State Minister for Information Tarana Halim, Simin Hussain Rimi and Saimum Sarwar Kamal attended the meeting. The committee scrutinized the Bangladesh Sangbat Sangstha Bill 2018 and decided to present it at the current session of the Parliament. The committee recommended to complete necessary process of regularizing Bangladesh Bedar's staff artists and their pension-related activities within the shortest possible time. Information Secretary Abdul Malik, senior officials of the Information Ministry and concerned officials of the Parliament Secretariat were present on the occasion.
Now, international news. Germany has decided to stop arms exports to Saudi Arabia as long as uncertainty remains over the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi and wants other European Union member states to follow its example. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said Riyadh's explanations on Khashoggi's death so far has not been satisfactory. Riyadh has given multiple and conflicting accounts on what led to Khashoggi's death on October 2nd at his consulate in Istanbul. Besides, France and the European Union urged an in-depth investigation on the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. On Sunday, Saudi Arabia called the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi at its Istanbul consulate a huge and grave mistake and said Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman had not been aware of this. Jordan says it plans to add at least 2 areas of land to Israel that was agreed in annexes to the 1994 peace treaty between the two countries. The areas are Naharaim in the north and Zofar in the south, known as Bakura and Gamer in Arabic. The lease was for 25 years and had been due for renewal. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel would negotiate over extending the current arrangement.
And now, sports news. Bangladesh Cricket Board (BCB) has expressed relief over some of its cricketers shouldering responsibility at a crisis moment. BCB President Najmul Hasan Papon, talking to Newsman today, said starting of the first ODI against Zimbabwe was not good, but Imrul Qais took responsibility and batted a unique inning, scoring 144 runs, resulting Tigers winning the match by 28 runs. This proves that Bangladesh is not dependent on any particular cricketer now, he said. But he sounded concern over Mushfiq and Mahmudullah's form. The BCB chief said Shobhmo Sarkar and Tushar Imran are being considered for playing tests against Zimbabwe, although BCB favors inclusion of youngsters. Najmul Hasan voiced his concern on ICC new one-day ranking starting from 0 point from 2020. To end the bulletin, the top lines once again. Next election to be held on time despite all conspiracies, says unequivocal Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Government to construct another unit of Dhaka Medical College Hospital for treatment to additional 5,000 patients, announces Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. President Mohammed Abdul Hamid on way to Switzerland to attend World Investment Forum. Demanding dialogue shortly before election schedule announcement unreasonable and unnecessary, comments Ubaidul Qadir. Germany to stop weapons export to Saudi Arabia over Khashoggi murder incident. Angela Merkel urges EU to follow suit. And BCB relieved over one of its cricketers taking responsibility at critical time.
And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you to watch our next bulletin that's coming up at 11:30. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.